We're here at the Des Moines Hotel in Clive. Police are currently investigating a stabbing that took place here at around 3:30 a.m. Police told us that one person was stabbed by another. There is no word just yet on the condition of the victim. Also, no word yet on a suspect, but police are continuing into this investigation. West Des Moines, Clive, and Urbandale police are all here on scene. You can even see behind me they have sectioned off part of the back of this hotel for their investigation. You can see police are continuing to talk to perhaps some witnesses, and then you can also see some belongings spread out here on the lawn. But once again, we are here at the Des Moines Hotel here in Clive. We are right next to the Mercy One Clive Urgent Care. We will let you know more information as we learn this morning here on WHO 13 and on WHO13.com. Griffin, Lindsay. And right now we are right next to Roosevelt High School overlooking I-235. The snow is coming down hard, and it's been coming down pretty hard for a while now. The only difference between now and maybe earlier is the wind is also starting to pick up severely. The thing that stayed the same is the roads are slick, and actually since we've been out here we have seen 2 car accidents. Right behind me is the aftermath of the first one. You can see a car here with its hazards on. That car just before 5 a.m. collided with a snow plow and caused this car to stay stranded here on the side of the road. First responders responded relatively quickly. They came in and blocked off that right lane to traffic, but while that lane was blocked off, we saw yet another accident take place, this time between 2 vehicles colliding with each other, and then one vehicle spun out. So roads are extremely slick this morning. If you do not have to be on the roads, it might be best to not be on the roads this morning. The snow is continuing to fall and make for very harsh conditions for drivers, Kaylin. So it's really important to stay cautious if you do have to be on the roads, but if you don't have to be on the roads, to just try to avoid it this morning. And right now we're at the rec center. We've seen one bus come through so far and drop off some students. I've only seen 5 kids get off of that bus, but they said so many kids are on their way right here. There's 65 kids right now inside this building that are still waiting to be reunited with their families, is what I was told, and way more to come. They told me so many buses are on their way here with students from elementary, middle, and high school. She described to be a traumatizing experience for her. And so because of that, the community is starting to come together right now, and one of the ways that they are coming together is through the Perry Public Library, which is right behind me. They are having counselors here for anyone in the community to come by, so it doesn't just have to be students and teachers or staff members. It could be anyone. It's called the death bloom because this agave will do both of those things. It'll first bloom and then it'll die. Now, this agave plant has been here at the gardens for about 10 years and it's finally in bloom. If you've been here before, you've probably seen this rosette because that's been here the whole time. But this stem right here has just bloomed within the last 3 weeks and it's already 15 feet tall. Now, this is its top height. It's not projected to grow anymore, but it is projected to flower. There are some buds at the top of the plant right now, but once they flower, they'll only be open for a day or 2 before they close, and then the entire plant will die. This is a very common phenomenon for this agave because it typically grows in a difficult environment. It takes 10 to 15 years to bloom, and when it does, it puts on a show so that it can attract pollinators to hopefully produce seeds and repopulate.
I mean, here we are in the middle of Iowa, and here we have this plant that, that lots of folks don't get a chance to see, right? It's like, and I don't get a chance to see, so it's given us here at the garden an opportunity to look a little closer at agaves and what they do and how they work, especially plants of this size, right? We don't get a chance to see plants of this size.
And now there's no guarantee for exactly how much time is left with this plant. They're projecting maybe a few weeks to a month or 2. If you do want to check it out, you can come out to the gardens. These are their updated hours. They're open Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. from Wednesdays through Fridays, and at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on weekends. They are closed on Mondays, but once again, this plant is just blooming one time before it dies. But if you do miss it, the good news is this plant arrived with another agave plant, which is located just to my left, and that plant still hasn't bloomed yet. So maybe in about 2 to 5 years, that one will be in bloom soon too. Justin.
Yeah, Kaylin, Dr. Michael Andreski is that Drake University professor of pharmacy who tracked the number of pharmacies in Iowa from 2008 to 2022. He found that many of them were shutting down, and that was especially the case for independent pharmacies like this one in Oskaloosa.
Award-winning, community-oriented. Just a few words to describe Mahaska Drug, an independent pharmacy in Oskaloosa.
We've come into the store numerous times after midnight to get a medication for one of the nursing residents, or we came in and got it for a patient that had an eye injury and needed an antibiotic. And we don't mind doing it. That's part of being a community pharmacy, is taking care of your community.
But owner John Nicholson said the future looks bleak.
To be honest with you, unless something changes drastically within the next, quickly, within the next several months, I look for us to be closed at this time next year.
Nicholson and his wife owned the pharmacy since 1993. He said the idea of it closing would be devastating.
It's like, for my wife, it's like we have no children. It's like her child that she has raised. She has taken this thing from an infancy and grown it into the pharmacy that it is.
One of their pharmacists said the problem is consistent with what other pharmacies across the state and country are facing.
Like every day we're filling script after script where we make zero, or sometimes we make like a penny, and oftentimes we lose $20 or more. You can't afford to run a business when you are giving away your medicine.
And so far this year, they've made no profits for over 80% of the prescriptions they've filled. And if they close down, the people that will mainly be impacted are the community members.
I don't know what I would do. I would definitely hate to see that, because they call you by name when you come in, and they've got that small town feel that I would really miss them, and I hope that doesn't happen.
And while this is just one independent pharmacy in Oskaloosa, the problem isn't contained there. Nicholson said he knows 7 pharmacies across the state that have shut down this year alone, and he's anticipating that more will have to close their doors soon, Kaylin.
Yeah. We're inside of a barn here at the Hay Depot in Indianola, just south of Des Moines. And if you're wondering why hay is so important, we have a little friend here that's demonstrating. They use it for food, as you can see by him munching on it, but it's also used to insulate the barn. You might be hearing some of that wind right outside of the barn, but the animals aren't feeling it. And the Hay Depot provides some of that hay for others, and they do it in a unique way. The Hay Depot functions like a drive-through. Customers make appointments by phone or through social media, then they drive up to the barn and the hay boys put their orders inside of their trucks. Getting out of the car isn't even necessary. And because of the drought in recent years, the demand for hay across the country is high. This small family business sees customers from as far as Texas and even Oklahoma.
We do this, and it's not about really making money as much as just serving other customers. And then also, it's a family business, and so we're doing it to teach the kids, how to work and how to actually enjoy working. And you work with your hands, and you can talk to customers and serve customers.
And they say they could fit as much as 947 bales of hay in just one semi. In Indianola, Teodora Mitov, WHO 13 News. Des Moines is going back in time this weekend at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. Thousands of people are here to show off their retro cars or to see some. Over 5,000 vehicles are on display at the 33rd Annual Speedway Motors Heartland National.
We're all car guys, and we love it, and being around other car guys, it doesn't get any better than that.
These two were built by Andy Leach, a Nebraska native who grew up coming to this event as a spectator. And now he's on the other side.
These are 2-3 year builds, each of them, so it's awesome to get all the people and the reactions that everybody sees with our cars, and it's really rewarding.
And they're already breaking records. Over 5,000 spectators came out on Friday, which is typically how many they surpass on Saturday.
I think being on 4th of July really helps this show out a bunch. The location, the fairgrounds, there's a lot of car enthusiast here.
And the enthusiasm is second to none.
I've been to every Good Guys show. The cars are incredible. The people are incredible. The cars are the glue that hold people together. Cars don't talk, and you can enjoy them. You can talk with someone if you've got a similar car.
And the fun continues tonight until 8 p.m. They're ending the night with a fireworks display, but you can still check out this event tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. At the Iowa State Fairgrounds, Teodora Mitov, WHO 13 News. We're in Humboldt County on the intersection of Montana Avenue and 100th Street, where this road has now been taken over by the Des Moines River. Residents here say that years ago, this road used to flood very frequently, but county officials say that hasn't been the case in a few years because of the drought. So this is a sign that drought conditions are getting better.
We are excited when we heard that Humboldt County is now abnormally dry. We've raised up from even worse than that to abnormally dry, and the rains have just done wonders for us. We're still not out of the woods yet, and unfortunately the water that we have got is postponing some of the farmers to get into the fields, or once they get into the fields, they're going to have to replant through some of the flooded out areas.
The National Weather Service issued a flood warning for parts of Humboldt County on Thursday as a result of recent rainfall. The warning starts at the Highway 3 bridge and extends south to 280th Street. 6 roads in the county were closed because of flooding. 5 of these roads are gravel roads, except 170th Street between K Road and States Avenue. Officials are urging residents to stay clear of these areas.
Just be safe. Turn around, don't drown, don't attempt to drive through it, don't attempt to get out there in kayaks or canoes and paddle around in some of the overflowed areas. Stay safe.
And the flood warning here is expected to last until Tuesday at 1 p.m., but this water won't recede for a few weeks. In Humboldt County, Teodora Mitov, WHO 13 News.
Debris, fallen trees, and no power. Just what some residents living in Pleasant Hill woke up to Saturday morning after a tornado ripped through the western part of the city.
It was really loud, like really loud.
It's pretty terrifying. I mean, to be honest, because you don't know like just how much damage it's going to do.
We ran down to the basement, and we weren't down there 30 seconds, and we just heard a big whoosh, and a boom, boom, boom in like 5 seconds, and we thought, hey, it missed us. And so we waited another 10 minutes or so, came up and saw the damage to our property.
8 of Baron Geiger's trees toppled over on his property, but he said his home received minimal damage. However, not all residents were that lucky. The Pleasant Hill Fire Department confirmed that 18 homes had severe damage.
I didn't think that I was going to come out to the devastation that I did. I thought it was just wind. But it was pretty scary.
And despite all of this debris, police say only 1 person and 1 large animal were injured.
I was just hoping that like the roof wasn't going to come flying off and that we were really safe in the space that we were in.
But just hours later, the community was already coming together. Around 30 people came to Baron Geiger's home to clean up the fallen trees.
I figured I'd come out and help and see what we can do to help him out. And he runs the church right up the road, and we go there, and it's a great little community, so we figured we'd come out and help him.
East Side comes together. Everybody comes together in a time of tragedy, but we do come together, and it's the best thing in the whole world.
In Pleasant Hill, Teodora Mitov, WHO 13 News. In Orthodox culture, food means a lot.
We have this need to feed people. We have a pride in that everything we serve is handmade. A lot of these are recipes from our great-grandmothers. They just get passed on. We don't. There's no shortcuts in Orthodox culture, Greeks or Serbian.
The Greek Food Fair Festival is how 2 local Orthodox churches share their culture with the Des Moines community.
When I first started coming here, the food fair is what drew me here, and then the community is what made me want to stay. I think everyone treats you like family.
Hundreds of people attend the 3-day event, and this year they're seeing some record-breaking turnouts.
This is what we use to sort of keep our church alive. Everything from the upkeep of the church to just daily costs and everything. So it means a lot for us, for the community to come out, for us to see them have a good time. We're really honored to have so many people come out each and every year.
And outside of eating delicious food and sharing cultures, this fair has a greater impact.
A majority of it at my church is all refugees. You know, people that came here not because they chose to, but they kind of had no other options. They had to do that. And so it's nice to see that we are accepted in community, and seeing other people coming that are not part of the Orthodox community makes us feel like, okay, we're accepted, people like us here.
In Des Moines, Teodora Mitov, WHO 13 News. For 553 days at Rescue, Rehab, Rehome in Grimes and another year in a southern Iowa shelter, Gertie has been waiting for a home.
Most of her life she's been in a kennel, and you know, she's very good. She doesn't like run around and knock stuff off the tables or anything.
While Gertie loves people, she doesn't do well with other animals, and that's what's kept her from being adopted. But the rescue didn't give up on her.
Katie and Addison have worked so hard to try to get her a home, and every event Addison takes her to.
And Gertie finally found her forever home.
Since I'm the first one that usually gets home, it's been kind of like quiet and not as like joyful as you'd expect to get home and have nobody there to greet you.
And it's with a family that needed Gertie as much as Gertie needed them.
Our first dog was Cosmo. We had to put him down this year in February.
150-pound Mastiff.
Yeah,
so he was a big boy.
It was hard. I wasn't ready to adopt just yet because it's only been since February. They've been wanting to fill the void.
Volunteers at Rescue, Rehab, Rehome sent Gertie off in style, in a limo and surrounded by so many people who've been rooting for her.
She is definitely loved, yeah. Never imagined. I've never seen this before, so this whole new experience.
And after almost 1,000 days inside Iowa shelters, Gertie is finally home. In Grimes, Teodora Mitov, WHO 13 News.